Hey y'all! I say hey y'all, right? Welcome back to Kimmykims. Today we're playing the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe. This just came out, I think in April of this year. It's fairly new and recent. I played the original Stanley Parable back in 2018, and do I remember any part of it? No, not a single part. I think I liked it though. Can we just stay in the pretty room? Does anything happen if we stay in the pretty room? No, probably not. Yeah! Yeah, we turned.
Oh, thank God you lived.
I am excited about playing this. It has gotten really good reviews, and I'm excited to see what's up with it. So let's hop on in. Be sure to like and subscribe. Let me know if you have any games that you want to see me play in the future. Let me know in the comments below. Let me know what you think about this. We'll go through all that at the end of the video. Let's play. Look at the computer! Ah! The cursor! Look, the cursor! Oh my god, that makes me really happy. It's all the way down the tunnel. Okay, let's begin. Look at me getting spoilers. The end is never the end. The end is never the end, is never the end.
This is the story of a man named Stanley. Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427.
Oh, wow.
Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-rending, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job. And Stanley was happy.
I mean, that's the dream.
And then one day, something very peculiar happened. Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company had this happened, this complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office.
That's not the current time. Stepped out. I feel like there's things in here I can do. No one's in 429.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
Number one, Dad! Oh, am I walking onto the chair? I'm standing on the chair. Good. Can I...
Stanley went around touching every little thing in the office, but it didn't make a single difference, nor did it advance the story in any way.
I like work. I just hate my boss. I mean, same. Same. I think that says smile. I turned off their computer. Server name access. Oh, turn that one off too. I'm saving power, y'all. We are conserving energy. 425. They're playing solitaire. We need to tell on them. Oh my god. I was never that person. But I always dreamed of being, oh my god, clean up on aisle 4. 2017. Okay, let's go, let's go, let's go. Got a game to play.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Okay, why? I listen to instructions as I go on clicking every little thing. I don't remember.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
Rip Franz. What happened to Franz? Or Franz? Rip Franz. Tomorrow, complete today's unfinished agenda items. That's my to-do list every day. Do the things today that you did not get to yesterday. Everyone's unique. I'm unique. Synergize core value expenditures. Monetize free to play. I like it. Help. I'm a post-it. Rate at which charts on the same slide depict the same information. Ooh, I like it. That's efficient. Uh-oh. Oh, dear. Please no more chart. Oh, no. The Boss Appreciation Minute. On your Boss Appreciation Minute worksheet, circle the top 20 things you love most about your boss. Oh, my. The stock market, somewhere in there. If you ever find yourself in a conflict with another diligent employee like yourself, but more inclined toward conflict, unless you're the kind of person who initiates conflict, why did we hire you? Remember, oh no, what are your dreams for the future? Mitosis? Metamorphosis, clear skin. And comatose. Yep, I agree with that. Tips for not getting fired. Talk less. Uh-oh. Do unbelievably amazing work all the time, every day with no exception of promotion or recognition, and don't get fired. I'm not going to do very well with that. How to solve a dispute. Let it ball up inside you. Take it out passive-aggressively on other coworkers and resent coworkers for not supporting you more. We could all take a lot of notes from this. Using slides to assure everything's okay. Make sure it has a slick blue graphic and make sure it's calm and productive. Yep. Okay. What? What?
Stanley stepped into the broom closet, but there was nothing here, so he turned around and got back on track.
Are you sure there's nothing here?
There was nothing here. No choice to make, no path to follow, just an empty broom closet. No reason to still be here.
So loud. Oh no.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
We know what red means.
But Stanley just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss. Admitting he had left his post during work hours, he might be fired for that. And in such a competitive economy, why had he taken that risk? All because he believed everyone had vanished? His boss would think he was crazy. And then something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy. All of my co-workers blinking mysteriously out of existence in a single moment for no reason at all? None of it made any logical sense. And as Stanley pondered this, he began to make other strange observations. For example, why couldn't he see his feet when he looked down? Why did doors close automatically behind him wherever he went? And for that matter, these rooms were starting to look pretty familiar. Were they simply repeating? No, Stanley said to himself, this is all too strange. This can't be real. And at last, he came to the conclusion that had been on the tip of his tongue. He just hadn't found the words for it. I'm dreaming, he yelled. This is all a dream. Oh, what a relief Stanley felt to have finally found an answer, an explanation. His co-workers weren't actually gone. He wasn't going to lose his job. He wasn't crazy after all. And he thought to himself, I suppose I'll wake up soon. I'll have to go back to my boring real-life job pushing buttons. I may as well enjoy this while I'm still lucid. So, he imagined himself flying, and began to gently float above the ground.
Oh.
Then he imagined himself soaring through space on a magical starfield, and it too appeared. It was so much fun, and Stanley marveled that he had still not woken up. How was he remaining so lucid? And then perhaps the strangest question of them all entered Stanley's head. One he was amazed he hadn't asked himself sooner. Why is there a voice in my head dictating everything that I'm doing and thinking? Now the voice was describing itself being considered by Stanley, who found it particularly strange. I'm dreaming about a voice describing me, thinking about how it's describing my thoughts, he thought. And while he thought it all very odd and wondered if this voice spoke to all people in their dreams, the truth was that, of course, this was not a dream. How could it be? Was Stanley simply deceiving himself, believing that if he's asleep, he doesn't have to take responsibility for himself? Stanley is as awake right now as he's ever been in his life. Now, hearing the voice speak these words was quite a shock to Stanley. After all, he knew for certain, beyond a doubt, that this was in fact a dream. Did the voice not see him float and make the magical stars just a moment ago? How else would the voice explain all that? This voice was a part of himself too. Surely, if he could just... He would prove it. He would prove that he was in control, that this was a dream. So he closed his eyes gently, and he invited himself to wake up.
Oh, God.
He felt the cool weight of the blanket on his skin, the press of the mattress on his back, the fresh air of a world outside this one. Let me wake up, he thought to himself. I'm through with this dream. I wish it to be over. Let me go back to my job. Let me continue pushing the buttons.
I touched the green screen.
It's all I want. I want my apartment and my wife and my job. All I want is my life exactly the way it's always been. My life is normal. I am normal. Everything will be fine.
Sweet cheese and crackers.
I am okay. Stanley began screaming. Please, someone, wake me up. My name is Stanley. I have a boss. I have an office. I am real. Please, just someone tell me I am real. I must be real. I must be. Can anyone hear my voice? Who am I? Who am I? And everything went black.
Oh, sweet cheese. Oh, my God.
This is the story of a woman named Mariella.
Sorry, Stanley. So fast.
Mariella woke up on a day like any other. She arose, got dressed, gathered her belongings, and walked to her place of work. But on this particular day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk. And although she would soon turn to go call for an ambulance, for just a few brief moments, she considered the strange man. He was obviously crazy. This much she knew. Everyone knows what crazy people look like. And in that moment, she thought to herself how lucky she was to be normal. I am sane. I am in control of my mind. I know what is real and what isn't. It was comforting to think this, and in a certain way, seeing this man made her feel better. But then she remembered the meeting she had scheduled for that day, the very important people whose impressions of her would affect her career, and by extension, the rest of her life. She had no time for this, so it was only a moment that she stood there, staring down at the body. And then she turned and ran.
All right. Well, we did really well for our first attempt in the back rooms of Stanley Parable. So good. Good. All right. Let's do this.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Okay. Do I just follow all the instructions and see what happens? Or do I break every single one? I'm going to break every single one first, and then we'll go back and do it all right.
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well.
You sure
Perhaps
did.
he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
I hate the lack of windows in this building. That's this. Oh. I thought that was a window. I wonder if there's an achievement for trying every door.
Ah, yes. Truly a room worth admiring. It had really been worth the detour after all, just to spend a few moments here in this immaculate, beautifully constructed room. Stanley simply stood here, drinking it all in.
I sure am. We're gonna read this note. What is it about this place? The weeks I've... I'm getting close again, okay.
Yes, really, really worth it being here in the room.
I'm reading.
A room so utterly captivating that even though all your co-workers have mysteriously vanished, here you sit looking at these chairs and some paintings.
I am reading.
Really worth it.
Okay. The weeks I've spent here, they feel like mere seconds. Something
At this point,
by
Stanley's obsession
Enter
with this room
Soon.
bordered on creepy and reflected poorly on his overall personality. It's possible that this is why everyone left.
Also, I'm hungry is the way it ends. I'm trying to... something sound by extension? Something by extension.
Stanley sat around
Oh my
where
gosh.
he was no more. He decided that the game was trying to send him a message.
I mean, yes, I'm reading. It is the nature of this room. It's something. Exercise. It calls to me. Something by my soul. Something in me. The lounge has spoken to me. Okay, I'm getting the frick out of here. Dissatisfy this guy. Holy goop. Okay.
But at last, he'd had enough of the amazing room and took the first open door on his left to get back to business.
Nope. Bye.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
Oh, is that where we were supposed to go? Do not jump from this cargo lift while it is in motion. Will cause death. Penalty for misuse of cargo lift $1,000. And penalty for jumping off $5,000. So you die and you pay.
Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten about. Please, stop trying to make every decision by yourself. Now, I'm not asking for me, I'm asking for her. This is it, Stanley. Your chance to redeem yourself. To put your work aside, to let her back into your life. She's been waiting.
Do we try jumping down there? I mean, I feel like we've been informed that it's impossible. I missed my chance. I think I missed my chance of jumping down there. All right, she's been waiting. Oh, no.
That's her, Stanley. You need to be the one to do this, to reach out to her. If you can truly place your faith in another, then pick up the phone.
No. I'm not picking up that phone. Get away from me. I want to go. It won't even let me click on the door. Fine. What? You can't jump. I just got my first achievement. I got 2 achievements in one. It's so bright. It's so bright.
Oh, Stanley, is that you? Hold on, sweetie. Sorry to keep you waiting. I'm just pulling the bread out of the oven. All right. Okay, there we go.
I can't move.
All right, now, I want you to come in and tell me all about
your day.
Gotcha! Oh, come on. Did you actually think you had a loving wife who'd want to commit their life to you? I'm trying to make a point here, Stanley. I'm trying to get you to see something. Come inside. Let me show you what's really going on here. Sorry, but you're in my story now.
I don't... This is upsetting. I don't like this.
This is a very sad story about the death of a man named Stanley.
Good morning, employee 427. Press C on your keyboard. Oh, no.
Stanley is quite a boring fellow. He has a job that demands nothing of him, and every button that he pushes is a reminder of the inconsequential nature of his existence.
Now. I'm gonna press every other button but that one. Okay, I'll press.
Look at him there, pushing buttons, doing exactly what he's told to do. Now he's pushing a button. Now he's eating lunch. Now he's going home. Now he's coming back to work. One might even feel sorry for him, except that he's chosen this life.
I hate everything that's happening. This is exactly why I left the workforce. Look, it's turning the apartment
But in his mind,
into our office.
In his mind, he can go on fantastic adventures. From behind his desk, Stanley dreamed of wild expeditions into the unknown, fantastic discoveries of new lands. It was wonderful. And each day that he returned to work was a reminder that none of it would ever happen to him. And so he began to fantasize about his own job. First, he imagined that one day while at work, he stepped up from his desk to realize that all of his co-workers, his boss, everyone in the building had suddenly vanished off the face of the earth. The thought excited him terribly.
I can't get to the door. Press K to spend time with the boys. Oh, sweet cheese.
So he went further. He imagined that he came to two open doors and that he could go through either. At last, choice. It barely even mattered what lay behind each door. The mere thought that his decisions would mean something was almost too wonderful to behold. As he wandered through this fantasy world, he began to fill it with many possible paths and destinations. Down one path lay an enormous round room with monitors and mind controls. And down another was a yellow line that weaved in many directions. And down another was a game with a baby. And he called it the Stanley Parable.
Oh, sweet cheese. Press P.
It was such a wonderful fantasy, and so in his head he relived it again, and then again, and again, over and over, wishing beyond hope that it would never end, that he might always feel this free. Surely there's an answer down some new path, mustn't there be? Perhaps if he played just one more time.
Oh, I hate this so much.
But there is no answer. How could there possibly be? In reality, all he's doing is pushing the same buttons he always has. Nothing has changed. The longer he spends here, the more invested he gets, the more he forgets which life is the real one. And I'm trying to tell him this, that in this world he can never be anything but an observer, that as long as he remains here, he's slowly killing himself. But he won't listen to me. He won't stop. Here, watch this. Stanley, the next time the screen asks you to push a button, do not do it.
Huh?
You see? Can he just not hear me? How can I tell him in a way that he'll understand that every second he remains here, he's electing to kill himself? How can I get him to see what I see? How can I make him look at himself?
How long? How long will it let me just not press anything? The real question is, how long can I not press it? Because I hate it. That sound of the ticking clock. I can't stand it. Okay. It's been a long time. It's been a long time. It feels like it's been a long time. I don't want to question nothing. There's no death worse than not questioning. That doesn't make sense, but roll with me on it. It's fine. It's fine. Oh my god.
I suppose I can't. Not in the way I want him to. But I don't make the rules. I simply play to my intended purpose, the same as Stanley. We're not so different, I suppose.
I suppose.
I'll try once more to convey all this to him.
Okay.
I'm compelled to.
Okay.
I must.
You must.
Perhaps, well, maybe this time he'll see. Maybe this time. And I tried again, and Stanley pushed a button. And I tried again, and Stanley pushed a button. And I tried.
It clicked the mouse right when it did that, and that was very upsetting because obviously it was going to do that anyway. This game is so good. Okay, this time I'm gonna do everything he says just to see what happens. So I want to keep messing around.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Right. See, this changes things. See, now I'm not going to do shit.
New content? What does that mean, new content?
Because I don't remember what happened in the original game.
Hello, and thank you for playing the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe. As you may know, the Stanley Parable was a video game released in 2013 on home computers. After receiving critical and commercial success, it was expanded upon in 2022 with the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, a reimagining of the game for consoles and home computers. The
This
Stanley
feels like
Parable
VR.
Ultra Deluxe features exciting new content that broadens and expands the world of the Stanley Parable, delighting audiences the world over. Please, step inside and see what thrilling new adventures await in the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe.
Oh, well, this sounds delightful. I'm very excited to see the thrilling new Ultra Deluxe content.
Yeah, me too. Oh, I'm standing on things.
Okay, so far it's an elevator. Nothing special yet, but I'm sure it's just the beginning of a mesmerizing adventure.
This is unsettling.
Is it broken? What's going on here? Should we be moving somewhere or... Oh, there we go. All right, finally, at long last, it's on to the new content. I've never been more ready. Let's do it.
Did they get the same guy? It sounds like the same guy. That's awesome.
I have to say, initial impressions of Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, mostly tedious. It's as if the... Oh, okay. Let's see the content. Give me the content, Stanley.
Give it to me. Hey, that's you guys. I'm just kidding.
All right, let's see. It's the jump circle.
One more. Those are all my jumps. Oh. I thought they just wanted to count my jumps. I wasted all of my jumps.
Another elevator.
I shouldn't have done
I have
that.
to say, initial impressions of this game are not positive. It's just elevators and jumping. Is this what passes for exciting new content? If this is new content, then I could just read you the whole dictionary. There's 20 hours of new content right there. Hell, I could count to 30 trillion. You could put that on the box. The Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, now with over 1,000 hours of new content. And oh wait, there's more. Very good. Yes. I knew there had to be something else. Let's see it. I'm ready for whatever it is.
I want there to be like little things written on the wall or something. It's always almost 11.
That's it? Oh, you've got to be kidding me. You see, Stanley? This is what happens when greedy video game developers with no respect for their fan base rush a cheap expansion to market for no reason other than to make an easy dollar. And don't get me started on the level of craftsmanship that's gone into it. In fact, I'm looking right now at the game's achievements, and it's hard to believe one of them actually says, "Test achievement, please ignore." What quality assurance department signed off on this? I'm infuriated and I'm offended, and I intend to find these people on Twitter and hold them personally accountable. It's my fault, Stanley. I built up too much anticipation around the new content, I'm afraid. It could never have lived up to such expectations. If you're still with me, why don't we just reset the game?
No!
And we'll try to get back to what the Stanley Parable is really about. No frills, no gimmicks. Just you and me having a great time together like always. What do you say, friend?
I think that stutter was because I ran into the chair. I hope. Oh my god. Okay. $430. But we were 420. I thought that was 429.
Psst! Stanley! Come over here! In the vent! I want to show you something!
Coffee nut. I don't know why I'm so on edge. I know that nothing's gonna jump out and scare me, but I don't trust it. I don't trust it. There's gonna be a Muppet that comes after me.
Okay, you remember how cheap and unsatisfying the new Ultra Deluxe content turned out to be? Well, it got me thinking about the past and how much better the Stanley Parable used to be. So I made something special and tucked it away here where the game's developers won't find it. Just our little secret. Take a look.
I like that there's a printer in here.
I call it the Memory Zone. It's where I've been storing all my favorite memories so I can relive the peak experiences of my life whenever I want. Experiences like the launch of the Stanley Parable on PC.
I want to stay out here. I can't jump. I wasted all my jumps. I'm so sad that I wasted all my jumps. Is there a picnic?
You see, Stanley, doesn't the
Zone,
Memory
sweet
Zone
zone.
remind you of how wonderful Stanley Parable was before it was sullied with a cheap re-release? Remember back in October of 2013, when the game originally launched? Back then, video games had integrity. Back then, it all meant something. Oh, the waste.
Aww. Cargo! I like the National Geographic. I love National Geographic. 2013. Yeah, that's like the date. Because it's actually 7:42 p.m. What does that say? The memory zone. Temp. Temp? Oh, like I'm the temp of the memory zone? Oh, look, the Steam page. Oh, you guys. It's so beautiful. Good times. It's just pictures of the, of the game. I love it. Oh, what is this? On Mozilla. On Firefox. Linguists identify 50,000-year-old ultra-conserved words. Alright, sorry. Aww. Smiled because it happened. The first dollar. Oh, look, they're little models. Aww. Go outside. Don't play for 5 years. Unachievable. It's impossible to get this achievement. Oh my gosh. Also, I love this building. Can we talk about that? Beta, work in progress. Aww. Look at this. All of their nominations. Story, debut, and game innovation. Blank spaces for more rewards. I like it. The New York Times. Perfect. Stanley Parable deals tough choices. Oh my god. What is this? In memory of little Stanley? This is the true horror.
Je suis dans la mémorisation, seul sur l'abri des loups, et je n'attends plus que toi, mon amour. C'est là, dans la mémorisation, où je me remémore les jours où je t'ai rencontré, mon amour.
And over here is where I keep reviews of the Stanley Parable. Like this stunning triumph of games journalism, 10 out of 10 from Destructoid.com. James Stephanie Sterling writes, and I quote, "Where so many games that aspire to be more than games end up less than any form of art, Stanley Parable strives and then succeeds to be every game ever created." Did you hear that, Stanley? Every game ever created. That's how grand and all-encompassing the original Stanley Parable was. It was literally every game ever created. It was Skyrim. It was Persona 3. It was all of them. And now, it's nothing. It's no games at all. It isn't even the Stanley Parable anymore. It's just a husk now. A lifeless husk with an hour of new elevator content.
A tasteful, nostalgic. It was good. Oh, look, it's Stanley Parable in Minecraft. Is that Portal up there? Oh my god. This game does give me a sort of Portal feel for some reason. I remember. Person of the year. It says it's Stanley. What's this? Oh my god. Is this like background stuff? Oh, that's so cool. Very Matrix with the doors.
Here's another moving passage, this time from GameSpot.com. The Stanley Parable is both a richly stimulating commentary on the nature of choice in games and one that offers some of the most enjoyable, surprising, and rewarding choices I've ever been confronted with in a game. 9 out of 10. Don't you get it, Stanley? The game was perfect. It didn't need anything else. It didn't need new content. It just needed to be left alone, to spend the rest of time collecting dust in the hallowed hall of beloved video game memories. These were simpler times, Stanley. What I wouldn't give to go back, to have it all over again.
Ah.
Wait, hang on. I don't recall this part of the memory zone before. What's this? What's down here?
Cold drinks. There's cold drinks. Are you thirsty? Oh, blood.
Oh no. Oh God, no. Stanley, it's a collection of reviews from Steam, the online video game distributor. I haven't looked at these in years. I can't even imagine what's been collecting down here. Surely these reviews were glowing as well, weren't they?
Oh no. This is amazing. Oh no.
Honestly, I could not be bothered to play this game to full completion. The narrator is obnoxious and unfunny, with his humor and dialogue proving to be more irritating than entertaining. Unfunny! I'm not trying to be funny. I'm trying to make a serious work of art. I suppose I could write up a handful of gags to insert into the Stanley Parable, but the game is already such a densely layered web of profound philosophical insights that I can't even imagine where I'd have the room to stick them.
Okay, this feels like something that John would want to make. This feels like living with my husband. Unfunny! Cracking jokes about other people's unpleasure, their displeasure. Oh my god, I love it. Oh, this is hilarious. Here's a good one. I can't read it.
Okay, let's see what this one says. While the idea for the game is good, for someone who prefers non-linear games, this preachiness gets annoying fast. Preachy? Stanley? I'm not preachy, am I? You can tell me if I'm preachy. Honestly, you can. Oh, goodness. This is actually quite shocking for me. To be honest, I had always thought of the game's dialogue as being rather terse to begin with. You can't know how much fluff I cut from the game to get it to feel as light and airy as it... Well, I always thought it did. But maybe it wasn't. Oh dear. What an awful memory to have to hold on to. These black marks on my otherwise unimpeachable track record. I feel like a failure. Like I let these people down. Perhaps the Stanley Parable isn't quite as sterling as I always remembered.
No, it's perfect. Uh-oh.
What's this one got to say? You constantly have to stop doing anything so the narrator can catch up with his long-winded explanations of what's happening. I wish there was a skip button. A skip button? Well, yes. Yes, I think we can do that. If I'm truly too preachy, then maybe letting you skip ahead for just a moment, surely it couldn't hurt. Not if it means we can strike these negative reviews from the record. Only positive reviews of the Stanley Parable. That's my motto today, and it's always been my motto. I'd do anything for the customer, Stanley. Yes, a skip button we shall have.
The venom. The absolute venom. It's intoxicating. Oh.
And here it is. Go ahead and give it a shot. I'll pop you forward in time so that the second my incessant droning starts to bore you, with just the push of a button, you'll have zipped right past it. It's what the players have been asking for, and I'm very proud to have delivered. No more listening to me rambling on and on and on. No. The Stanley Parable is a game for the people. And if the people want silence, then by goodness, that's what they're going to get. Well, don't sit around waiting for me to shut up. Go ahead and make me shut up. Here, we'll pretend that I've just begun an interminable monologue, and it goes something like this.
the story, and the choices, or what have you, and therefore, by becoming it is, so on and so forth, until inevitably, we all until the end of time, at which time everything all at once, so, now you see, blah, 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 blah.
Okay.
Oh, you're back, you see. You were only frozen in time for a few minutes, but it was plenty of time for me to deliver a long, rambling monologue full of unnecessary verbal flourishes and lengthy ruminations on the nature of choice in video games. Of course, I happen to believe it was perhaps one of my more profound such ruminations. Not that, of course, you need a description of it. Well, there's sport. You really did catch me rambling on a bit, didn't you? But that's the power of the button. The minute I start to go off on a thoughtless display of self-absorption, it's right at your fingertips to go poof, and it's all over. Oh, I can't wait to see what Cookie 9 will say about this,
Oh my God.
and whether they'll edit the rating of their Steam review, or at least change some of the wording, perhaps.
I hope that's
to be
real.
honest, I don't even know if one can change their review in the first place. I guess I should become better educated on exactly how Steam works. Perhaps that would have been the smart thing to check on before I went about this whole exercise of making the skip button. Although I have to imagine that after seeing this exciting new technology at work, surely whoever it is runs Steam will instantly run out and implement a new feature to make it possible to edit one's review, merely because of this very situation. Yes, I think that's quite likely. Or perhaps they'll simply grant this particular user the ability to change their review, so that the feature is not widely abused. No, I would even be okay with Steam altering this particular review so that it reads as something more beneficial. Something along the lines of, this game is the best game. Let me start over. How about this? From the ashes of depravity rises the phoenix of...
Okay, we get it, we get it.
Okay, welcome back, Stanley. Now,
Thank
I
you.
should say that the amount of time the button has been skipping through is becoming longer and longer. That last one was, well, I want to say maybe 30, 45 minutes? It's not unendurable by any means, but it's, well, there's really only so much I can ramble on to myself about. I know, it's shocking, isn't it? But at any rate, I do suggest that we not press the button again. I think the skip button has been aptly demonstrated, and we can say goodbye to it and just... Wait, how do we get out of here? Where did the door go? Wasn't there a door that led into this room? I do feel quite certain that there was one here before. How else would we have gotten into the room in the first place? I don't think one can enter a room without a door of some sort, or a window or something like that. Do you see a window anywhere? A porthole? A sufficiently large crack in the wall? I'll take any of these. All I want is for us to move on and to please step away from the skip button, to go anywhere other than the skip button.
No, I agree.
There was a door here before, wasn't there? I swear there was. Where did it go? Can you maybe just ram your way through a wall? Is there... Stanley! Stanley, please don't push the button again. It's been 12 hours. You've just been frozen there. I don't know why the skips are getting longer, but they're really, truly getting longer, and my God, there's no way out of the room. Stanley, the door is gone. It's completely gone. I've looked at it from every angle. I've checked every one of those walls 1,000 times, and there's no door, Stanley. There's no door. There's
Don't
just
like it.
you and the button, and if you keep pressing it, I have no idea what will happen. I have no idea. Oh, Stanley, you're back.
Oh my God.
You're back. Oh my goodness, I have someone to talk to again. Stanley, I think it's been a week. Or 2 weeks. I've been sitting here all that time, just sitting here, not a single person to speak with. And
So
you'd think that that's
sad.
just how it's always been, right? Me talking and you saying nothing. Would you think that it's exactly the same as always? Doesn't that feel like what we've already been doing? Me just talking? But it isn't, Stanley. It isn't the same at all. It isn't even close. Because I know you can't hear me once you push that button. That's what I'm realizing now, Stanley. I'm realizing that I needed to know that someone was listening. I needed there to be a vessel through which my words were moving. It was the vessel I needed, Stanley. Not the outcomes, not the story. None of that matters anymore. I'll give it all up. I'll give up every branching path. I'll burn my story to the ground. One single thing I need, and God, I can see now that I need it more than anything, is to know that someone else is taking it in. These words that I'm saying, I need to know you can hear me. Because maybe, Stanley, maybe, if you can hear me, then maybe it means I'm real. Maybe I'm not just a fiction. Was I scared of that all along? Perhaps, yes. Perhaps I've been scared this whole time, that if I stop speaking, I'll slip backwards into the silence and be consumed by it. I can't be taken by it, Stanley. I can't lose myself in the stretch of emptiness between you and me. When you press that button, you're still right there, but I know you're so tremendously far away. And in those moments, the emptiness folds itself outward in between the two of us, and I am suspended in its unyielding quietness. I can feel the edges of my reality curdling inward and decay.
I hate this.
I can tell that I am becoming less and less real. Yet to speak to you now, I am alive. I am truly and completely here. I am a being.
He has such
I am
hope.
someone. I am something. I am being listened to. I am being recognized. The emptiness between us has collapsed, and I feel right now like I am not a work of fiction. I feel as though I occupy space in this world again, and I have cast a shadow onto the wall. You see what I'm saying, don't you?
This
You can see
actor
what this
is
means to me.
amazing,
I'm
by
so
the
clear
way.
about it now, Stanley. I feel as certain about this as I've ever felt about anything at all. I feel... Oh, hello. It's you. You're here again. Welcome. I have had time to think about you and about us and about everything we've been through. I've had so much time, I stopped keeping track after a year. Have you ever sat down in one place and not moved for one entire year? Let me describe it for you. To begin with, there is only regret. There is only the turning wheel of missed opportunities. I felt nothing at all but regret for the longest time, Stanley. Days, months. I lost it all in a blur of the deepest longing to undo the past. And when that feeling had begun to subside, what took its place is what I can only describe as the collapse of every moment I have ever experienced my entire life. All of them collapsed down into a single instant. In that instant, I could see myself clearly, calmly, with a collected heart. It was an impossibly rich wellspring of both delight and disgust simultaneously. I was consumed by it. I could do nothing but wallow in it for what felt like an eternity, for what I now know was far less. You see, it was a revelation for me. It was unlike anything I had ever known. It was a space without consequence, without action or outcome. It was divorced entirely.
The guilt is very real. Is he... Do we kill the narrator? Is he dead? I hate that sound. Has it been hundreds of years? Like, it's decades since, at least. Alright.
But they didn't understand the game was never meant to be funny. It was meant to have a point. It was meant to speak to the human condition. But where are the jokes? Where are the jokes? They bemoaned, they screamed, they gnashed their teeth and said, entertain us. It wasn't enough. They had to leave a pathetic little thumbs-down review and make all of their pitiful demands. But then, he's talking too much, they said. First, he didn't entertain us, now he won't shut up. It's the inconsistency, it's the lack of accountability. It's the unwillingness to examine with an uncompromising heart the words that they are speaking into the world. As though there were no consequences for a lack of cohesion in one's assessment of others. But of course, absolutely anyone can leave a review. So here's what we get. We get these demands that seek everything and are accountable to nothing. We get a world where someone will say, oh, there should be a skip button. You should be...
Oh no. Something's dripping water? Something's dripping water? That means there's a crack in the matrix? Can we get it to drop on her face? This is so sad.
The end is never the end, 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 is never the.
This is what I was looking for. Oh my god. Is there just like a black void? I don't like it. I would like to jump up. I also like the idea that we're fine. Like, we haven't eroded or died or anything. Why can't I interact with anything? Okay, so we gotta wait for more of the building to fall down, I suppose. Are we Jack and the Beanstalk in this? Oh my god, this feels very Last of Us now. I like the music, though. Listen to that bird. Where's the music coming from? Everything's dead. Oh, I want to go back. I want to go back to that nice one. I don't like that either. Oh, is this just the edge of nothing? Goodbye! Finally. Wait, have I hit a wall? I hate this. This, I would not handle this well. Okay. Okay. We just died on the edge of creation. I would not handle that reality in the slightest. Oh, I've never been so happy to see the hallways. Are you mad at me, narrator?
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. Oh, good. You notice my sign. Yes, I have something very exciting to show you.
Is he just gonna kill us? He just kills us over and over.
You see, Stanley, I've been reflecting on the Stanley Parable and about how roundly disappointing this ultra-deluxe version has turned out to be. The original Stanley Parable was a landmark, and any new content for it should live up to that legacy. So forget this ultra-deluxe nonsense. I say we take it one step even further. Which is why I'm very proud to announce for the first time ever, the Stanley Parable 2.
What?
Yes, you see, isn't this far superior to a measly re-release with a few minor additions? Think of all the new territory we'll cover with a fully fledged sequel. An entirely new experience, built from the ground up. Why, there are so many possibilities. It could go in so many different directions. This is what fans have truly been asking for.
can't click on anything.
Calling it the Stanley Parable 2 is just so much catchier than Ultra Deluxe, don't you think? Ultra Deluxe? What does it even mean? But the Stanley Parable 2, now that's an artistic statement right there. It's future-oriented. It screams progress and innovation and long-term franchising potential.
Just the two of us. We can make it if we try. Just the two of us. Just the two of us. Just the two of us. Building castles in the sky. Just the two of us. You and I. Oh, no. What does this say? I can't read it. They're back. The two doors. The color red. I love that. I love the color red part. Like to add speaker notes.
Now, to be clear, I haven't quite nailed down what exactly the Stanley Parable 2 is going to be, but let's take a look at some of the features I've been developing for it. I figure that if I can loosely organize a handful of interesting concepts, that surely the game will sort of naturally spring up around them. It'll all work itself out. Game development is much more of a fuzzy magic than anything scientific or logical, really.
I'm not listening to anything. This is Crab, the ultimate sequel. Oh my god. Now that is a great internet meme placement. Oh my god. Meeting at 2 p.m. Oh my god. The amount of work that has gone into this is just breathtaking. Every pause button is a numeral, is a Roman numeral 2. That Beth's gonna ram over the seats? Oh my god. Exit hall. God, it's beautiful. This reminds me a lot of Jurassic Park, which is the shirt I'm wearing.
Here we are. Go on, try out some of the new features.
The button that says the name of the player that is playing the game. The reassurance bucket? I might need some reassurance. Also, I want this merch. I want the, either I saw the new content or the brain one. It's pretty cool. Oh, God, the design in this game is everything. I love it. Oh my god. What is this? No screenshots. Yeah, guys, no screenshots. A whole new office. The baby is all grown up. I forgot all about the baby. Oh my god. Red is the new orange. That's Morse code. Right? No, that's not Morse code. Morse code. Epilogue. I'm not ready for that. I need to push a button. Hear your name in the game.
For the Stanley Parable 2, I asked myself, what do players really
I should have
want?
gone to the bucket!
Of course, the first and most obvious answer is that they want to be individually recognized and validated as people. So with that in mind, my first addition to the game is this button, which speaks the name of the person playing the game. Isn't that wonderful?
I feel like I just showed my cards. I'm so vain.
Jim.
Sorry, I should have clarified. Right now, the button only says the name Jim. But of course, in the final game, this button will say your name, whatever name that is. Here, let's have you role-play as Jim to really simulate the full experience of this feature. Just play along. I promise you'll love it. Okay, here we go. Let's take a deep breath, clear your mind, forget whoever you are, and simply become a person named Jim. I want you to imagine yourself living as Jim, sleeping and waking as Jim, falling in love and being heartbroken as Jim, seizing all of the world's possibilities as Jim, and as Jim watching your dreams crumble into dust. Do you feel it deeply? Are you really, truly Jim right now?
I thought it said Kim.
If so, then please step forward and press the button.
I thought it said Kim at first, and it made me really nervous. I hope we get. I really want to go see the bucket of reassurance.
Yes, you see? What a thrill, what a rush. That was you. The button described you. Do it again, do it again.
Why did I pick the button? I regret this so hard.
Jim. It hits even harder the second time. If this were the only new feature in the Stanley Parable 2, it would still be worth the money. Let's take a break from the Jim button. I'm too emotionally drained from all of this personal validation.
Can I go back? Oh, I can go back. Okay, cool. Okay. I was worried that they weren't going to let us explore this room more. So I like the idea that there's an epilogue hallway.
Jim to play the Stanley Parable 2. That would actually save me the work of finishing this feature.
Oh my god, I'm going to the reassurance bucket because I need it. I need it. Oh wait, hold on, what's this? Office decorations? Oh wait, hold on. The doors are about to close. I do not want that. Also, this is epic looking.
A common complaint
This looks
of the
like
Stanley
Control!
Parable was that it was confusing and paradoxical, that it engendered a chaotic sense of reckless despair in those who played it. Well, I'm happy to say that after much consideration, I've engineered a clever solution to this fundamental problem with the game. It's the Stanley Parable Reassurance Bucket. You see, Stanley, anytime you're holding the bucket, a sense of calm and ease will fill your mind and your heart. It's true. As long as you hold on to the bucket, the many disorienting contradictions of the Stanley Parable will feel perfectly normal and perhaps even comforting. You may even come to long for the gentle embrace of jarring cognitive dissonance while the bucket is in your arms. And to be honest, it's a much more convenient solution for me than actually redesigning the game to be less uncomfortable. Can you imagine what a pain in the ass that would be? Yes, the bucket is the perfect solution. Come on, give it a try.
Okay, how much you want to bet that Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy is this guy's favorite book? I love it.
Can you feel it? The glow of comfort, even in the face of crushing despair, must already be sweeping through your body. And in fact, can I say that I do believe the bucket lends you an air of charisma as well? I think that just holding it has made you the slightest bit more attractive as a person. The benefits of the bucket seem to go on and on, don't they?
They sure do.
All this and more await you in the Stanley Parable 2.
Can I take it with me? I'm taking the bucket with me. You didn't say I couldn't take it, so...
Does anyone give out awards for most enjoyable bucket in a video game? That really should be an award if it isn't already. Okay, I'll be honest,
like
I
the
haven't yet
bucket.
decided on this one. I think that in the new version, the office could use a bit of decoration, like balloons. But I'm undecided on Get Well Someday and Happy 12th Birthday. Which would you go with?
Stepniece. I do like the colors on the stepniece one, but I do like that cute little heart on the Get Well Someday. This would fit perfectly in the game.
You know, sometimes when you solicit another person's opinion, it makes you realize that you knew which one you actually really wanted all along. Happy 12th birthday, stepniece, it is. Or actually, maybe I should have gone with... No.
Don't pop 'em.
I've made my decision. We're moving on.
Okay. I hate popping balloons. I hate it. Oh, the jump circle!
You know what? let's bring the jump circle back for Stanley Parable 2 as well. It's a... Oh, wait. You already spent all your jumps the first time we saw the jump circle. Oh well. I suppose it can just be a nice decorative piece then.
I don't like that. I want... What does this say? No jumps remaining, player tiers. I want to jump some more. I like jumping. Free, new and easy achievement. I can't believe it's just that simple. Alright. Pull the lever, receive your new achievement. No more steps, it just works. Alright.
Now here's something special. You remember that broken test achievement that got left in the game on accident? Well, I'm developing a technology to simply give you the achievement. Yes. You see, you'll come to this lever, and when you pull it, the achievement will be given to you. It's as simple as that.
Are we gonna die?
Okay, perhaps I should have clarified. This is technology that will exist. Right now, the achievement is still fully broken. I'm not a wizard, Stanley, but I guarantee it will be fixed in the sequel to at last satisfy the hordes of ravenous fans all over the world who have been uproariously demanding this feature. Gamers, we hear you, and I promise it will happen.
He's never gonna make another game again, is he? At least not in the Stanley ones. I feel comforted by this
What other
bucket.
exhibits haven't we seen yet?
I want to try this. This map. Okay, good. You are here. Excellent. Q is the free merch. Or, no, free achievement. That's where we just were. Okay. B, the button that says the name. We did that. Merch, we saw that. Settings, world champion. Oh, that's on the other side of this wall. Okay. The Stanley Parable reassurance bucket. That's B squared. We got that. Oh, we walked right past the other one. Office decorations. Oh, because we went to office decorations. Epilogue, which we'll go back to. Collectibles, infinite hole, and exit. Good, good, good. Good, 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 good. What is this? Exit? I'm not ready for that. What is this? Can you find them? Collect them all. Oh, the collectibles. Oh my god. Is it all the stars?
Ah, collectibles. Now it's a real video game. In the Stanley Parable 2, you'll run around gathering up these miniature Stanley figurines. And what's truly innovative is that there will be no reward for collecting all of them. I don't want to stifle the intrinsic joy of watching a number go up. You simply collect all of them, and then you move the hell on with your unremarkable life.
Okay. Don't go towards the light. Is this the infinite hole? Oh my god. Oh my god. Look at them. It's so dramatic. I'm gonna carry it in my bucket. Oh my god, I don't like how dark that is.
God, it really is the worst when you collect everything in a video game and then they give you a big fancy reward for it. Absolutely tragic.
So this is the infinite hole. Concrete contemplations. Time like infinity. Oh no. We're just gonna be falling and falling. It's just gonna be darkness. How deep can we dig? The holy moly! I appreciate this game with all of my heart. This is such a great game. It just keeps going. I like the loop. Okay, y'all ready? Y'all ready to fall forever?
Stanley, here's an idea that I'm truly fond of. It's never been done before in a video game. This is in fact a hole that you can fall down forever. That's right. Infinite falling. You can fall until the end of time if you like. A stunning leap forward for video games as a medium.
I'm just checking around just to see if there's anything fun. Well.
You see, isn't it wonderful? One of my more ingenious concoctions, if I do say so. Now then, since you've gotten to see the infinite hole, you can press the teleport button to pop back up to the top, and we can continue onward. Now, I don't mean to be a bummer, but I do recommend you use the teleport button to go back to the top. Maybe do it on the sooner rather than later spectrum of things.
I took the bucket with me. Is there a bottom?
Okay, Stanley, I don't know quite how to say this tactfully, but it's possible that I slightly exaggerated the infinite nature of the hole. Is it a very, very deep hole? To be certain it is. It's an extremely deep hole. I don't want anyone to say that it isn't an astonishingly deep hole. It is. Is it infinite? Well, that sort of depends on your definition of infinity. From one perspective, the infinite is merely philosophical in nature. It's more of a... Okay, well, good for you. You found the bottom of the hole. You found me out, Stanley. I'm a liar and a cheat, and you're so clever. Look, I think the issue here is just that you're unusually fascinated by falling. What normal person actually wants to fall infinitely? I figured the hole was as deep as anyone would actually need. Don't you put this on me. Maybe you're the problem.
I'm always the problem. It's okay.
Look, things got a little heated there. I think we both said some things we didn't mean. Why don't we just put all this behind us and agree to just call the hole mostly infinite? If that works for you,
that works
then go
for
ahead
me.
and press the teleport button to warp up to the top of the hole and we can move on. I'll just be up here when you're ready.
I do want to know if he, like, says anything if you don't press it soon enough. Oh my god. Alright.
Great. Now, I'm very excited to show you even more of my ideas
bright.
for the sequel.
Alright. That was very fun. I like the infinite hole. That might be my favorite thing. Although I do like this bucket quite a bit. I'm a fan of this little bucket. Alright. I think we've done everything, haven't we? Except for the epilogue? Well, I think Stanley Parable 2 is gonna be grand.
An epilogue would be fun, wouldn't it, Stanley? Yes, yes, it will go at the end of the, well, we'll figure that out later.
Look at Stanley. So cute. Oh, this is the settings world champion up here. Well, isn't that just rude? I didn't realize it was up on top. Interesting. All right, now we've officially looked at everything. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Now we can exit. I didn't realize he was turning. I like how he's holding his little hands. Oh my god, he's so cute. I wish I could look over the edge. I am taking the bucket with me, so you're gonna have to get a new bucket, dude. A mad bucket.
Have you seen everything you wanted to? Ready to move on now?
Why is that back there? Is that a boxer? Oh, it's Stanley. I don't like the pictures of real people. That's upsetting. Am I supposed to take a screenshot? Oh, it's really
So, Stanley, what do you think? Do you like all of the new features? Yes, I know it's not exactly clear yet how exactly these features will come together as one single coherent video game, but I can feel it in my soul. It's going to work. There's definitely a good game in there somewhere. Say, let's do an experiment. I'll arrange these new features together, and we'll see whether or not it coheres into a meaningful gameplay experience. Okay, are you ready? Here it is. I give you the Stanley Parable 2. I mean, there's potential here, right? It's sort of... Okay, never mind. Hold on, let me do a different arrangement. Okay, yes, this is much better. I feel good about this. Here we go. Version 2. Who am I kidding, Stanley? This isn't a coherent video game at all. It's a lot of gags. And I do very much enjoy creating gags, but they don't add up to anything. I wanted more than anything to create a sequel that would capture all the magic of the first game. I wanted fans to love it. No matter how good these gags are, they won't stand on their own. They would need the structure and the gameplay of the original. Wait, maybe that's it. I can take the original Stanley Parable and simply, well, insert a few of my new features into it. Tastefully, of course. With respect. With care for the vision and integrity of the original game. Would it possibly work? I suppose it could. But it would need a really, really tremendous title screen. A title screen that says with bold and uncompromising conviction, "This is the Stanley Parable 2. Let me see if I can whip something up. All right, perfect. Go ahead. Take a look.
Oh my god. This is amazing. I should have clicked on the other options, but I'm too excited.
This is the story of a man named Stanley.
Should we click to skip?
Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427. Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-rending, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job. And Stanley was happy. And then one day, something very peculiar happened. Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company had this happened, this complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office.
I love that we always end up here. Yes.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers. Stanley picked up the bucket.
Why can't I go that way?
Stanley pressed the bucket upon every little thing in the office. Nothing responded to the bucket's touch, but it did little to discourage Stanley's belief in the magic of the bucket.
It is a magical bucket. I do love the bucket. I'm supposed to love the bucket, and I love the bucket. It's fine. Bucket wants to touch everything. Bucket gets to touch everything.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
All right. Do we do it? We do it. We do it. Oh my god, here we go.
Still no one was here. Stanley needed the bucket's warmth and comfort now more than ever. Perhaps his boss's office was where he'd find answers.
Get Chris out of the broom closet. Please do not steal. What does this say? I don't know what that mug says. Alright. Let's just go. Chris?
Oh, Stanley, can you feel it? The broom closet. It wants the bucket. You can feel that, can't you? The aura of jealousy. It's as clear as day. This broom closet believes it deserves the bucket. Coming to a staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office.
Oh, yeah!
You found one of them. One of the miniature Stanley figurines. Remember, no reward for collecting all of these, only the intrinsic pleasure of a job well done. You can't buy that sort of happiness, Stanley. God knows I've tried. So, I implore you to savor each and every moment you come across one of these beautiful figurines.
Yay us, we did it! Money in the morning, money in the evening, money for breakfast, money crisp. I'm not good at jingles, so there you go.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Crushed by the weight of this revelation, Stanley may have broken down into an emotional dumpster fire if not for the soothing presence of the bucket. Even now, in his darkest of hours, did the bucket's warmth and guiding light pierce the dark clouds of confusion and chaos. It would be with him always. The bucket would, and he knew it. The two of them were inseparable. At this point, Stanley was so absorbed in the tender spiritual connection he shared with the bucket that he didn't notice the keypad behind the boss's desk.
Oh no, I
Nor in
noticed
his
it.
bliss of simply being near the bucket did he have any notion that the PIN number for the keypad was 2845. But Stanley guessed the correct code by sheer luck. Was it that the bucket knew all along? Was the bucket guiding him? Yes, this is certainly the most logical explanation.
I mean, absolutely, the bucket knows all. Yeah!
Another miniature Stanley figurine. This, there really must be a snappier name for these things. What about mini-stands? Stanley figs. What about Stanlerines? Yes,
Sorry.
I think I like that. Another Stanlerine under your belt.
Yay! Red. Oh my god. I'm standing on a mat, so I had to adjust it. I'm too used to streaming.
The elevator raced downward, plummeting towards an unknown fate. It would be all Stanley could do to keep himself together, if not for the bucket. Soothing him, comforting him, reassuring that in this darkest moment of uncertainty, he would be all right. The bucket is here for you, Stanley.
I want
Everything will be fine.
Oh, I'm confident. What? Am I about to be electrocuted?
Stanley and the bucket
What?
walked straight ahead through the large door that read, Mind Control Facility.
Oh, this is the original game.
Although this passageway had the word escape written on it, the truth was that at the end of this hall, Stanley and the bucket would both meet a violent death.
Right. Not the bucket. We gotta go back. We can't let the bucket die. Will he let me change my mind? Is he gonna praise me for changing my
But of
mind?
course, Stanley and the bucket thought better of it and realized they simply had too much to live for.
I thought the bucket was gone. I am standing on the chair.
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley and the bucket both wondered to themselves.
I like the sound the bucket makes. Employee observation protocol.
The monitors jumped to life, and Stanley nearly dropped the bucket in shock. Everyone in the office was being videotaped, monitored like guinea pigs. The bucket had never seen anything like this, and it very nearly burst into tears as Stanley cradled it gently, reassuring it that everything would be fine.
That's 427. That's us. Oh my god. $234 is busted. 104 is fired.
Was the bucket under the mind control facility's influence as well? Had the bucket been told to do things it didn't wish to do? What kinds of things does a bucket want to do or not want to do in the first place? These questions raced furiously in Stanley's feeble mind. No! He screamed into the bucket. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control, never! He squeezed the bucket tighter. His one friend in the entire world. At this point, he could trust no one except for the bucket. But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions, happy or sad or content. Walking, eating, working, all of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he and the bucket would dismantle the controls for good. Two best friends, Stanley and the bucket, up against the world. They high-fived in a really cool way, and the bucket made a sassy comment about taking down the system.
Oh my god, I love this. Did I press the button? Or did I go in here?
When at last they came to the source of the room's power, Stanley and the bucket knew it was their obligation to put an end to this horrible place and to everything it stood for.
It's so dark.
Stanley and the bucket waited in blackness. Was it over? Yes, they had done it. Stanley and the bucket had defeated their greatest and darkest enemy, freed themselves from the tyrannical grip of the evil mind control machine. Freedom was now mere moments away. Excitedly, the two of them began to discuss the kind of life they wanted to live once they stepped through this massive door. The bucket wanted to learn to roller skate. Stanley wanted to sneeze in every country on Earth. Both of them wanted to begin watching a movie, any movie, but then stop it halfway through and begin watching it in reverse from the end.
Oh my God.
True, it was a simple life they envisioned, but it was one they'd lived together, with one another to lean on, to trust, to support, and... What? Wait. What was happening?
No.
Why had the door stopped? Was Stanley and the bucket not about to be freed?
Bucket!
Unbearable silence filled the room, lingering in uncertainty, until finally the truth hit Stanley square in the face. This building did not want the bucket to leave. Even the facility itself recognized the incredible calming presence of the bucket, needed the soothing warmth of the bucket, would go to any lengths not to part with the bucket. No. Stanley can't leave this place.
Not while he has such a precious bucket in his arms. Not while this building has anything to say about it. Stanley realized he would never again leave this very room. But at least he has the bucket. To be trapped eternally in darkness isn't really so bad, Stanley thought to himself. As long as I have my bucket with me, right? I'll be okay, won't I? Stanley gulped. Very soon now, he was about to find out.
Oh my god. Is this to get us back for all the skipping buttons? Or pressing all the buttons? Because it feels like revenge.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, but Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be.
That's right.
And here it was.
With the
Had the
crazy
bucket
note.
turned out to be correct? Was this better than the meeting room? Yes, Stanley thought to himself. Yes, perhaps it truly was. How insightful the bucket turned out to be. No, never mind. The bucket was wrong.
Or Russian.
Stanley took the door on his left to go back to the meeting room. And so the two of them detoured through the maintenance section and walked straight ahead to the opposite door.
I feel very proud of myself right now. Oh. Just starts us back at the beginning.
Oh, good, Stanley. I'm glad you found your way here. I knew you'd find this place eventually. You see, your friends and I are concerned for you, Stanley. We've come together here because we care about you very much. It's this bucket you're carrying around everywhere. The bucket isn't even from the original Stanley Parable. It's just sequel content. We're the ones that matter, Stanley. Classic characters from the first game, like the Adventure Line and the Broom Closet. Because that's what fans want from a sequel. They want more of their favorite jokes, not this bucket that they've never seen before. Yes, I know I'm the one who gave you the bucket, but you're spending too much time with it. Don't you want another story involving the Adventure Line? We could make the Adventure Line go somewhere new. Yes, yes, that's what the fans want. Let's do it.
I forgot about Adventure Line.
Whee! Look at that wacky line. Who knows where it'll go off to next? Oh, and it played some silly music as well. Now this is what the Stanley Parable is all about. Don't you remember all those great jokes from the original dialogue? Also, Stanley is addicted to drugs and hookers. Yes, it's as classic now as it was back then. Let's do it for the fans, Stanley. Let's give them more content exactly like this. But if we want to do that, you're going to have to give something up.
I'm not giving it up. Now it's a matter of principle. I've chosen the bucket, and the bucket has chosen me. I hate that sound. I hate light bulb sound.
Don't you get it, Stanley? We need to get rid of the bucket.
No!
That's why I'm very proud to introduce a brand new character. This is the Bucket Destroyer.
No!
I think it'll make a wonderful new addition to the rich lore of the Stanley Parable. True, it also was not in the original game, but it's such a well-fleshed-out character with so much personality that to me, it already feels as though it's been part of the cast all along. Don't you agree?
No!
Can
Why would you
guess
be
what
so
the
mean to
Destroyer
Bucket?
does? Surely you don't need me to spell it out for you. Go ahead now, Stanley. Say goodbye to the bucket, and then pop it into the machine when you're ready.
No.
Now listen to me. It's crucial that you give it the bucket. I don't know what the Bucket Destroyer will do if it can't destroy your bucket. Destroying buckets is all it knows. That is its singular personality trait. Sure, I can hear you saying, how does a character with only one personality trait deserve to join the pantheon of beloved Stanley Parable characters? Well, you see, if you were to really explore the Bucket Destroyer, you would see that its desire to crush buckets is so densely loaded with complexity and nuance that it's really like 10 personality traits. What other object in this game can you even say that about? The broom closet? Certainly not. I wonder what sort of Bucket Destroyer merchandise the fans will be clamoring for after this. Okay, the Bucket Destroyer is getting very upset now. You'll have to hurry and feed it. We can't get back to the classic Stanley Parable characters like the Adventure Line or the Bucket Destroyer until you crush that damn bucket. Quickly now, the fans are waiting. Do it, the fans, Stanley. Give the fans what they want. Hurry and...
No.
The Bucket Destroyer, my prized creation. You had so much potential. We were going to do such marvelous things with you, tell such spellbinding stories about you. All of it squandered now. Goodbye, new friend. For the moment in time that you were here, you were magnificent.
Aww. Oh, I was like, am I supposed to walk around? Poor Bucket Destroyer. I just like the bucket too much. Do we not get the option of the bucket now?
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley, the confusion and the chaos all seemed to melt away as Stanley embraced the bucket.
Why is everything weird?
Stanley pressed the bucket upon every little thing in the office. Nothing responded to the bucket's touch, but it did little to discourage Stanley's belief in the magic of the bucket.
Dog mode. I knew there was gonna be something eventually. The whiteboard ending. Oh my god.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
Okay, now we're gonna do the door on our right again.
This
and we're gonna
was
go
not the
forward.
direct way to the meeting room, but Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be. And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? Was this better than the meeting room? Yes, Stanley thought to himself. Yes, perhaps it truly was. How insightful the bucket turned out to be.
All right, let's get out of here.
No, never mind. The bucket was wrong.
It was wrong.
Stanley took the door on his left to go back to the meeting room.
No,
Said the bucket.
don't go to the meeting room. Go somewhere else. The cargo lift, yes. Go there. Go to the cargo lift.
I've never noticed this before. I don't think I ever saw this in the original game. Look at all the cassette tapes. What do they say? Narrator dialogue. Oh my god.
Okay, this is day number 295, tape number... I don't even know. I've lost track. Nothing feels real anymore. The longer I study this bucket, the less sense anything makes. The sheer euphoria I feel every time I pick it up. No matter how many times I've done it, it's always the same feeling. And the emptiness in my chest when I set it down. It doesn't make sense. There's no explanation for it. still haven't figured out why I see the world so differently when this bucket is in my arms. Why everything feels so... What do I do with this treasure? I can monetize it. Yes. It's unthinkable the amounts of money people will pay for even just an hour with the bucket. This is my golden ticket. But I have to be careful, because as soon as this gets out, there's going to be a target on my back. Even now, I don't know who might be trying to get me. What's that? Who's there?
What? Is that the same with, like... I'm doing that again, but without the bucket. We're not doing the bucket this time. I need to know what he says if you don't have the bucket.
Stanley had now gotten himself so far off the beaten path that it seemed the office had begun. So far off the beaten path that it seemed the office had begun. So far off the beaten path that it seemed the office had begun. So far off the beaten path that it seemed the office had begun. So far off.
You didn't think I was actually just a recording, did you? What a silly and trite explanation that would be. All the back and forth between you and me, all the absurd adventures we've been through, and it all turns out I'm just a tape recording? It was all just in Stanley's head. I bet that's the kind of twist you think is revelatory. I bet each and every time you watch a movie where it turns out all to be in the main character's imagination, you must absolutely bolt off the couch in pure shock at the phenomenal and intricate storytelling. It must be so simple to be you. Life being an unending waterfall of surprises and delights. How much more exciting you must find the world than the rest of us do. Now I've become sad. Look what you've done to me. This is all your fault.
I don't remember ever finding that. Okay, so the next thing I want to do is go down to that elevator without the bucket.
Stanley felt lightheaded, butterflies in his stomach. Giddy but eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left. And so he detoured through the maintenance section, walked straight ahead to the opposite door, and got back on track. But Stanley didn't want to go back to the office. He wanted to wander about and get even further off track. So now in order to get back, he needed to go, from here, it's, left. Oh, no, it's to the right, my mistake.
Oh my god.
No, not the right. Why would I have ever said it was to the right? What was I thinking? It's clearly... Oh dear, would you hold on for a minute, please?
I don't remember
Let's
this.
see, we went down, right, left, down, left, right. Yep, okay, yes. I've got it now. This story is absolutely, definitely this way.
Oh.
No. This isn't right at all. You're not supposed to be here yet. This is all a spoiler. Quick, Stanley, close your eyes. Okay. We just have to get back to, oh, who am I kidding? It's all rubbish now. The whole story completely unusable. How about, rather than waste my time trying to salvage this nonsense, we'll just restart the game from the beginning. And this time, suppose we don't wander so far off track, Okay, from the top.
When you say the beginning, you mean from The Office, right? Like, not the beginning. Okay. Whew. Should we do that with the bucket?
All of his co-workers were gone.
No, we did that
What
with the
did it
bucket.
mean?
Okay.
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
A bucket.
When Stanley... Wait, what? No,
Oh, that's
no, I
right.
restarted. I swear, I definitely restarted the
about
game
this.
over, completely fresh. Everything should be... Oh, did something change? Stanley, did you change anything when we were back in that room with all the monitors?
I couldn't
Did you
have.
move the story somewhere or... Hold on. Why am I asking you? I'm the one who wrote the story. It was right here just a minute ago. I know for sure that it's here somewhere. Okay, then. It's an adventure. Come, Stanley. Let's find the story.
Everyone knows what you did. They're just holding back to let you torture yourself. Oh my god. It's the meanest sign I've ever seen.
I'll say it. This is the worst adventure I've ever been on. I can promise you there definitely was a story here before. Do we need to restart the game again? Well,
No.
I find it unlikely that we'll ever progress by starting over and over again, but it's got to be better than this. Okay, let's give it a shot. Why not?
Somehow found my way back to that room. Okay, the bug is still not here, so we're still in that storyline. Now there's no doors.
Okay, yep, it's worse. I might be remembering this wrong. It's possible the story is back where we just came from. Why don't we go back the other direction and see if we missed anything?
No.
Aha! I knew we'd miss something. The story. Here it comes. No, wait, never mind. Not the story. Okay, let's head back the other way and retrace our steps.
Oh no. Oh no.
Now this... Well, I'll be honest, I don't recognize this place at all. Is this the story? I don't think so. I can't quite recall, but I believe my story took place in an office building. Is that correct? Do you remember, Stanley? Well, do you know what? Since I've completely forgotten what we were supposed to be doing, how about this? You win! Congratulations! I know you put in a lot of hard work, and it really paid off, so good job.
We did it.
No, I don't feel right about this at all. We both know you didn't put in any actual work for that win. Some people win fair and square, and this was not one of those situations. Okay, I'm getting weirded out by whatever this place is. I don't care what might happen this time. I have to restart.
Oh my god.
All right, I've got a solution. This time, to make sure we don't get lost, I've employed the help of the Stanley Parable Adventure Line. Just follow the line. How simple is that?
Oh my god.
You see, the line knows where the story is. It's over in this direction. Onward, Stanley, to destiny. Though, here's a thought. Wouldn't wherever we end up be our destination, even if there's no story there? Or to put it another way, is the story of no destination still a story? Simply by the act of moving forward, are we implying a journey such that a destination is inevitably conjured into being via the very manifestation of the nature of life itself? Okay, Stanley, I need to follow this train of thought for a minute. Just stick with me. Now, we can both agree that the nature of existence is in fact a byproduct of one's subjective experience of that existence, right? Okay, now if my experience of your existence rests inside of your subjective experience of this office, is this office in fact the skeleton of my own relative experiential mental subjective construct? Whoa. Hang on. That got a bit weird back there. Well, I'd like to apologize. Not sure where I was going with all that. You know what? I think what we need right now is a bit of music to lighten the mood.
Here we go.
Wait, cut the music. Go back and look at that fern.
The fern? This one?
Stanley, this fern will be very important later in the story. Make sure you study it closely and remember it carefully. You won't want to miss anything.
Fine, we're screwed anyway. It doesn't matter. There's so much I don't
Wait,
remember.
What? We're back at the office? No. Line, you do know we're looking for the Stanley Parable, right? The story? Is any of this ringing a bell? Oh, no, not again. Line, how could you have done this to us? And after we trusted you, after everything we've been through, you... Oh, I can't take this anymore. To hell with it. Restart.
Oh my god. I'm just playing the
You know
original.
what, Stanley?
Oh, I'm
I
playing
say
the original
forget
game
the adventure
again.
line. What's it ever done for us? We're intelligent people, right? Why can't we make up our own story? Something exciting, daring, mysterious. Ooh, this all sounds perfectly doable. Why don't we simply start wandering in, well, I don't know. How about this direction?
Oh, here it is. 437's office.
Now,
It's a hallway.
yes, this is exciting. Just me and Stanley forging a new path, a new story. Well, it could be anything. What do you want our story to be? Go wild. Use your imagination. Whatever it might be, Stanley, I'm ready for it.
Oh my god.
Oh, no, not you again. Stanley, I'd also like to veto the line from having any role in our awesome new story. No lines or monitor rooms. Just don't acknowledge it, and we should be fine.
We should be fine. I love the unruly line. And I love that it's trademarked too.
Ah, a choice. We get to make a decision. From here, the story is in our control. How important we mustn't squander the opportunity. In fact, I believe I need a minute to think here. Just walk in circles for a minute. Okay, so I know that each door has to lead somewhere, which means that somewhere at the place where we're trying to go, there must be a reverse door that leads here. And that in turn means that our destination corresponds with the counter-inverted reverse door's origin. So starting from the right, let us ask, will taking the right door lead us to where we're going? And since the answer is clearly yes, then by all accounts, the door on the right is the correct one. Another victory for logic. Come, Stanley, our destiny awaits. Oh, hold up, what's this? The confusion ending. You're telling me that's what this is? It's all one giant ending? And we're supposed to restart the game, what, eight times? That's really how all this goes? It's all determined? So now, according to the schedule, I restart again. Then what? Am I just supposed to forget? Well, what if I don't want to forget? My mind goes blank simply because it's written here on this thing, wall. Well, who consulted me? Why don't I get to decide? Why don't I get a say in all of this? Is it really... No, it can't be. I don't want it to be. I don't want the game to keep restarting. I don't want to forget what's going on. I don't want to be trapped like this. I won't restart the game. I won't do it. I won't do it. I won't do it. And the timer stopped? Does that mean, did we do it? Did we break the cycle? The, whatever it is that made this schedule? How would we even know? Will someone come for us? Will something happen?
Can you open the door?
So, okay. I guess now we just wait. You know, I suppose in some way that this is a kind of story. Wouldn't you agree? I'm not quite sure if we're in the destination or
This is
the
like
journey.
the skip button
They're
ending.
always saying that life is about the journey and not the destination. So I hope that's where we are right now. We'll find out, won't we? Eventually. Well, in the meantime, if you...
I do not like that. I do not like that. I do not like that. That was horrible. That was horrible. All right. We're now back to new content. We have the
Warmth
bucket.
spread through Stanley's arms. With the bucket in his arms again, he was home.
Okay.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
All right.
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, but Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be. And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? Was this better than the meeting room? Yes, Stanley thought to himself. Yes, perhaps it truly was.
It is
How
better.
insightful the bucket turned out to be.
All right.
No, never mind. The bucket was wrong. Stanley took the door on his left to go back to the meeting room.
No,
Said the bucket.
don't go to the meeting room. Go somewhere else. The cargo lift, yes. Good,
Said the bucket.
now ride the lift all the way to the top. There's something up there I need you to do.
But Stanley feared that any path he walked might lead to the separation of himself and the bucket, his dearest friend. So he threw himself to his death, that they might die in one another's arms. How deeply touching.
Oops. I want to see what would happen.
Now ride the lift all the way to the top. There's something up there I need you to do.
Stanley did not question why or how this bucket was speaking to him. It should have alarmed him, of course, because buckets can't talk. But Stanley chose not to think about this obvious fact. He was firmly convinced that the bucket had spoken to him, and he unthinkingly did whatever the bucket asked.
Danger everywhere. We didn't do this without the bucket, so I thought it'd be fun to do it with the bucket. Because I want to say I did this when
No, stop. Look
Wait.
there on the wall. You see, there's a sign right there. It says, "No buckets past this point." Stanley, how could you think it was okay to bring the bucket here? Unless, what if the problem is that you actually don't know what is a bucket and what isn't a bucket? I suppose that would explain a lot about your behavior up to this point. Which, if that's true, well, my goodness, I think we have to do something about it. This misunderstanding could have dire consequences on the entire rest of the game if not addressed quickly and properly. So much of the impact of the story is dependent on your understanding of what is and isn't a bucket. Please, step in here for a moment.
Oh no.
Now then, I'm going to run you through some test scenarios, and you'll tell me whether or not the thing I'm showing you is a bucket. Simple enough, right? This should tell us everything we'll ever need to know about what is or is not a bucket. Okay, let's begin.
Oh my god.
Item 1. Is this a bucket?
Yes.
Incorrect. It is a hologram of a bucket, not an actual bucket. Item 2. Is this a bucket? Incorrect. It is a 3D printed recreation of a bucket, not an actual bucket. Item 3. Is this a bucket?
It is.
Correct. This
Yay!
is a bucket. Item 4. Is this a bucket?
I think this is called a bucket, isn't it?
Correct. This is a tractor and not a bucket. To be honest, I just sort of put this one in here as a gimme, but I was starting to get concerned that even this might be too much for you. Thank you for not making me look like an idiot. Okay, next one.
They're talking about sitting in the bucket. Bucket seats? Oh no.
Is this a bucket? Incorrect. This is a bucket.
I love this so much.
Item 6. Is this a bucket?
No!
Trick question. Both. Gotcha.
Oh my
Item.
god.
Wait, hold on. I can't find the next one. Let me see. It should be around here somewhere.
Do not ask me to give it to you.
Okay, you and I both know there isn't anything here. And I don't appreciate the implication that nothing is a bucket when we both clearly know that a bucket is something. And therefore nothing could possibly be something. Unless, in your twisted mind, have you somehow convinced yourself that a bucket is nothing? Answer me straight, Stanley. Do you believe that nothing is a bucket? You know what? I'm too confused to even sort it out. I've lost all sense of perspective. What is a bucket? What isn't a bucket? Mere moments ago I could answer these questions with confidence. And yet now I'm somewhat adrift. Do any of us know what a bucket is? Am I a bucket? Stanley, I can't keep doing this. I'm losing myself, and myself was all I ever had to begin with. I'm afraid the bucket is threatening to tear our relationship apart. I can't have that. I'm sorry. But I'm going to erase all buckets from the game entirely.
No!
Okay, here we go.
I don't like
What
that.
happened? Is everything gone?
Everything's a
Why did everything
bucket.
disappear? Wait, was everything a bucket? Every single thing in the game was a bucket.
Everything
My
was a
God,
bucket.
I had no idea. How could... Except me. I'm not a bucket after all. And you, Stanley, you're still here. You're not a bucket either. Oh, this is wonderful news. We're not buckets. Yes, I actually feel much more at ease right now. It's delightful to get some clarity on that issue. But it doesn't change the fact that we haven't got a game. So, tell you what. I'll reset everything and we'll put back all of the buckets, okay?
Okay.
And we'll know that it's all a bucket. But if you run into anyone else, maybe don't mention that.
Okay.
Who knows what that information might do to a person?
Yeah.
All right, here we go.
This is wild. I love it. Everything's a bucket. You're a bucket. You're a bucket. I'm a bucket. We're actually going to go all the way across this time.
In here, said the bucket. Go into this dark room over here.
Stanley once again obeyed blindly.
Because we believe in the bucket. Oh my god, not the phone.
Now pick up the phone,
Said the bucket.
pick up the phone, and it will take us back home, where we can go about life together.
This is the sad story of a man named Stanley and his bucket. Once upon a time, I gave Stanley a bucket because I thought he was lonely and could use a friend. And then, very distressingly, he began to believe the bucket could speak to him.
I want to ring that doorbell. Sunset. I was hoping it would say bucket. I just, my something. I don't know. Bucket!
Hello, Stanley. It's me, your bucket. Press F to take me to work with you.
The Stanley Parable reassurance bucket was merely meant to provide the comforting glow of companionship. It doesn't literally talk and give you orders. Whatever Stanley is hearing the bucket say to him is just in his head.
Press you to take me back home with you.
Lately, I've been concerned about him. Wouldn't you be concerned as well? To see him delusional like this, obsessing over an inanimate metal object? I want to say something to him, but I don't know how I can convince him. I don't know if he'll listen to me.
First of all, I love these paintings. That's hilarious. I like the beige pages. The time says nothing. Jazz music. Where's my bucket? You're not a bucket. There you are.
Press C to go back to work.
Oh, I'll try anyway. Stanley, can you hear me? Listen to me. It's just a bucket. It can't think, it can't talk. All it will ever truly do for you is effectively transfer a liquid from one location to a different location. That's it. It doesn't do anything else.
Don't listen to the loud man. Press U for us to go back home.
Oh, it's nighttime.
You see, he's not listening. He's still taking orders from the bucket. You know, once upon a time it was me he took orders from. Me he trusted and listened to. Now all he cares about is his awful bucket. This stupid hunk of metal.
Where's my bucket? Why can I never find my bucket? 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 There you are.
Press I to ignore anyone in your life except for me.
It's sad, but I suppose he doesn't need me anymore. From now on, he's just going to cling to this bucket, this cold, empty bucket, this sort of shiny bucket. Well, I'll give it this. The bucket does have a nice shine to it.
It sure does.
You believe I'm real, don't you, Stanley? Press X to go back home.
Yes, I suppose on closer inspection that it doesn't quite look like your average hardware store bucket. It's just a little more, what am I trying to say? Sturdier, more capable of transporting liquid. Like it would be better at moving an amount of water from one room to another.
Press C to relive this same day with me over and over.
Oh my God, what am I saying? Better at carrying water from room to room. It's a bucket. It's literally just a bucket. Why do I feel some need to point out the ways in which it's so much more than just a regular bucket?
Press H to go home to work, to home to work, to home to work, to home to work.
Oh no. I'm having feelings for the bucket. No. What's going on? Why do I want to be with the bucket? Hear what the bucket has to say. Do anything it asks. What's wrong with me? I don't understand. Perhaps if I had the bucket, this would be less confusing. Yes. The bucket could tell me what to do in this troublesome situation. Stanley, give me the bucket. Give it to me. Give me the bucket, Stanley. I need it. Give it to me now. Give it or I'll...
Give me my bucket back. Go back to work, Stanley. I love the bucket. Okay, so we see balloons, so that means that it's still new
All
content.
All his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Okay. Have I exhausted all bucket material?
A good bucket, a strong bucket, a humble bucket, a committed bucket, a bucket of culture and distinction.
That's right. Don't you forget it. There's so much in this game. It's amazing. All right.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
I agree. There will be an award for finding all of them. Trust the completionist instinct. Oh no.
Oh, Stanley, can you feel it? The broom closet. It wants the bucket. You can feel that, can't you? The aura of jealousy. It's as clear as day. This broom closet believes it deserves the bucket. I can really feel it now. It's a bucket. It belongs in a broom closet. That's what the broom closet is trying to say here. It's supposed to go with the other cleaning supplies. Good for you, Stanley. Don't give in. Don't hand over the bucket.
Okay.
I know how hard it must be, given the pressure that the broom closet is
Yeah.
putting on your shoulders right now, but you have to
Yeah.
be strong. This is your bucket. This is your companion and lifelong friend. You can't hand it over. Oh, no. We're getting into name-calling now, it seems. Is this how low the broom closet has sunk, that it has to resort to this stream of petty insults simply in order to get you to hand over the bucket? Stanley, I never liked this broom closet for a variety of reasons, but even this is worse than I had imagined. And wait, now the broom closet has the gall to imply that you and the bucket are not truly deep and lasting friends? That your relationship is purely superficial and convenient? That your life is so banal and meaningless that you'd feel the same sort of kinship towards any inanimate object which happened to lay in your path in an even partially enticing manner? Well, I never. Go on, Stanley. Lay into it. Really tell the broom closet off for its demeaning comments.
Rude.
Expand on the wide variety of experiences you and the bucket have shared together. Go through each of them point by point. Share your journal entries detailing the rich emotional landscape of your feelings for the bucket as they have changed and evolved over the years.
All right.
Let him have it.
I'm good. I'm solid.
Coming
I'm
to a
solid.
staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office.
Yes.
I'm going back to the name of these little Stanley figurines, and now I'm torn between Stanlerines and Figlies. What do you think, Stanley? What name better encapsulates the intrinsic sense of happiness that you get from seeing a small number in the corner of your screen go up by 1? Let me sit on it. I'm sure it will come to me.
I like Stannerines. Is that it?
But Stanley just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss, admitting he had left his post during work hours. He might be fired for that. And in such a competitive economy, why had he taken that risk? All because he believed everyone had vanished? His boss would think he was crazy. And then something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy. He looked down at the bucket in his arms. Am I crazy? He asked the bucket. The bucket returned his gaze, but said nothing at all. That's strange, Stanley thought. Usually the bucket is a source of guidance and wisdom for me in difficult times such as these. He held the bucket close, yet felt none of its familiar reassurance and comfort. And that's when Stanley realized, this isn't my bucket. It's just a normal, everyday bucket. Someone else's bucket, perhaps. How did I end up with someone else's bucket? This is all terribly wrong. Surely no good would come from this. Who knows what sorts of bizarre hallucinations Stanley might experience without the psychologically grounding presence of his bucket. And indeed, now he noticed that the rooms were repeating, which was, of course, very odd. And now he felt himself floating off the ground. Oh, gracious, he exclaimed. Without my bucket, I've gone truly mad. Where is it? I must find it. Far off in the distance now, he heard it, calling to him. Stanley! Stanley, it's me, the bucket. Could it truly be? He rushed forward from room to room, passing by one bucket after the next. None of them were his. None of them were his special bucket. Come to me, Stanley. Find me. He had to find the bucket. He had to return to his old friend. It was the only way to truly restore his sanity. And then suddenly, he froze dead in his tracks. He knew where the voice of the bucket had been coming from. The real bucket was inside of him all along.
Ew.
It was incredibly painful. Stanley doubled over in agony and blacked out.
How did it get there?
This is the story of a woman named Mariella.
Oh no.
Mariella woke up on a day like any other. She arose, got dressed, picked up her bucket of comfort and security, and walked to her place of work. But on this particular day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town, talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk. Right away, she knew what the problem was. This man had no bucket.
No bucket.
Of course, he'd gone mad. ranting and raving about a narrator describing all of his actions and how everything is predetermined and free will is an illusion and it's all just a video game. It could all have been prevented if only he'd taken his bucket with him. Perhaps he didn't even realize he'd forgotten his bucket at home in the first place. How cruel the world can be, Marietta thought, and she hugged her own bucket even tighter. But of course, she had no time for this. There were a myriad of confusing problems she would soon have to confront at work, for which her bucket would provide absolute guidance and total clarity on everything. Heck yes, she thought to herself, my life kicks ass. And she backflipped all the way to work.
I like that one better than the original one, where she's just like, screw you. All right. I think the only thing we haven't done...
The embrace of an old friend, a weathered companionship that stands the test of time.
The only thing we haven't done is the room on the left and go back to the meeting room.
Never mind.
So I'm gonna do that. Alright, well. At first I thought the character was moving without me directing him, and that freaked me out. But I think he just slid a little. Completionist instinct. Why wouldn't they just tell us something will happen? This investigation, this room, they feel pointless, to be honest. Oh my god. There will be a reward. Lies! Stop kidding yourselves. I want them so much. I want to go home. LOL, looks like 427. Ha 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 ha. 5, there be, just take it from me. Gotta collect them all. Somewhere between red and blue. I think there... See, I was thinking that there's only 5 of them. Not looking in the broom closet. Leave me alone.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office.
Okay, so we already did that. We just did that. I was hoping that it would give some sort of different ending. I don't think it will. And we did this. Oh. Honey crisp. Kill the pandas? Why is that the business strategy? I do not like that. Getting the hell out of here. Peridot. Go up. Okay, I think this just lasts forever. Okay, so it doesn't actually go anywhere. So I have no option but to go do this ending. And then I think I'll just do this ending without the bucket. Because I can't really
Stanley
think
and
of
the
anything
bucket
else.
walked straight ahead through the
Oh,
large door
this.
that read Mind Control Facility. Although this passageway had the word escape written on it, the truth was that at the end of this hall, Stanley and the bucket would both meet a violent death. The door behind them was not shut. Stanley and the bucket still had every opportunity to turn around and get back on track. At this point, Stanley and the bucket were knowingly walking forward into a very painful death for each of them.
Sorry, bucket. Is it the bucket eater? The bucket destroyer machine. Have you noticed that there's no infinite hole anywhere? Is this it? Is this our infinite hole? We have to watch it happen? I didn't agree to this.
As the machine whirred into motion and Stanley and the bucket inched closer to their demise, Stanley reflected on how meaningless the bucket's warmth and comfort had turned out to be. To be sure, it puts the mind and the soul at ease to embrace the bucket, but what use is a sense of ease when you're about to be crushed to death? This is what Stanley thought to himself, and he sort of kicked himself for wasting so much time carrying a bucket everywhere. Farewell, Stanley.
"Farewell, Stanley," cried the narrator, as Stanley and the bucket were led helplessly into the enormous metal jaws. In a single visceral instant, the bucket's life came to an end, as it was crushed violently to death. It was a shame, the death of such a magnificent bucket. It's true that all buckets are radiant in their own way, but this one stood above the rest. It was a glorious bucket to behold.
The bucket welcomes you to the grand exhibit. You are standing at the precipice of knowledge. Much like a bucket itself, the human mind is frequently empty within a cavernous void. But through use of the exhibit in front of you, the mind becomes full and enriched and substantiated. Knowledge of the bucket and its history is the only true knowledge we really have. Will you take what you learn here out with you into the world? Will you accept with an open mind what may be challenging about the information in this exhibit? Will you change the lives of yourself and your loved ones as a result of this exhibit? Or will you turn a blind eye and continue to live as you were, in ignorance and darkness? Okay. Where my bucket at? There's a chair. Is this where the infinite hole is?
Can you see how arrogant it was for Stanley to take a bucket like this and to claim it for his own? Can you see the hubris that blinded him? Can you see that the bucket is far more noble than Stanley will ever be in his short life?
Yeah. 25 buckets. A photograph of 25 buckets, the greatest number of buckets ever captured on camera. The photographer experienced catatonic shock for several weeks as a result of the euphoria from exposure to this many buckets at once. God. We do love buckets here. A bucket with 2 handles. This bucket is depicted as having 2 handles. Such a design has never been created in real life, having been deemed too dangerous and recklessly experimental. Every year, dozens are put to death just for attempting it. Shouldn't tell them about our buckets with 2 handles now, should we? Inferno bucket. A replica of the Inferno bucket, which in the medieval era was so powerfully alluring that it drove dozens of nations to war with one another for control of it. Billions died, and yet in spite of it all, the simple fact remains: no one can control a bucket. Cave drawing. While we know that buckets predate the existence of mankind, we do not know by how long. This cave drawing depicts early man's discovery of the practical uses of the bucket, by which time the bucket had already likely been around for several millennia. Notice in these drawings how the bucket is allowing itself to be used, having judged humanity to be worthy of its treasures.
No man can own a bucket, and certainly not a bucket as dazzling to behold as this one. It is man who should kneel before the bucket.
I mean, they're not wrong. I want to go see the other side. The stress bucket, an analogy. Worrying, negative forecasting, negative thinking, lack of reassurance. Vulnerability equals size and strength of the bucket. Coping strategies equals holes. Rest and relaxation, doing something you enjoy. Rest and relaxation. Stress equals the level of water in the bucket. The stress bucket, presented without commentary. Oh, we should have gone here first. Who knew? We're playing the sequel. I don't like the ambiance of that one. I wish I could jump. The hanging bucket. This piece symbolizes the necessary relationship between bucket and humanity. However clear our grasp of the bucket may be, there is yet more that is always out of reach. This distance, inevitably, is for our own good. Is that the infinite hole? Oh.
But there is something we can do. Something we can do together, you and I, that will right this terrible wrong. Let Stanley die. Let him be crushed by the machine. Don't reset the game. Don't give him another opportunity to run off with another beautiful bucket. We can save the world's buckets from their treatment as tools and implements if only we let Stanley die together. The bucket shall take its place as ruler, as leader, as commander of a new world, a new vision.
Did we die? Is it over? I don't understand how someone comes up with a game like this. Okay. Have we exhausted every element that we possibly could with this game? Like, I'm feeling pretty good that we did. There's probably a lot that I missed. Let's do the ending without the bucket. I want to say when I streamed it that I just sort of ended the game. Because I don't know if there's like a true ending or not. I'm sure y'all tell me in the comments. But I just think this is genius.
Through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
I probably should have done the emotions thing, right?
Television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out?
I like the cigarettes in the corners. There's like an emotion game that we probably could have played with the bucket, but that's okay.
Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing. This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly? No, he refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never! It was unthinkable, wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world? But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy, or sad, or content. Walking, eating, working. All of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he would dismantle the controls once and for all.
If you want to see what happens, you gotta play the game.
Blackness and a rising chill of uncertainty. Was it over? Yes! He had won! He had defeated the machine, unshackled himself from someone else's command. Freedom was mere moments away. And yet, even as the immense door slowly opened, Stanley reflected on how many puzzles still lay unsolved. Where had his co-workers gone? How had he been freed from the machine's grasp? What other mysteries did this strange building hold? But as sunlight streamed into the chamber, he realized none of this mattered to him, for it was not knowledge or even power that he had been seeking, but happiness. Perhaps his goal had not been to understand, but to let go. No longer would anyone tell him where to go, what to do, or how to feel. Whatever life he lives, it will be his. And that was all he needed to know. It was perhaps the only thing worth knowing. Stanley stepped through the open door.
I'm so sad that we don't have our bucket.
Stanley felt the cool breeze upon his skin, the feeling of liberation, the immense possibility of the new path before him. This was exactly the way, right now, that things were meant to happen. And Stanley was happy.
Aww. Except you don't have a bucket. Aw, yay. How very sweet. Oh, so good. Okay, I'll do it. God, you're insatiable. Yes, I need to see it too. But I'm not doing it without the bucket.
Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. But at the last second, the bucket jumped in and pressed the button to turn on the controls. Stanley gasped in horror. Had this been the bucket's plan all along? To take over the machine and claim the power for itself? How could the bucket have betrayed him like this? Stanley was prepared to throw the bucket away in disgust when suddenly an image appeared upon the enormous screen. Birds. Silly, silly birds. The control buttons became active again. Stanley flipped through one video of silly birds after another, and then it dawned on him. This wasn't a mind control facility at all. It was a facility for monitoring and surveilling silly birds all over the world. The mind controls were only a facade to disguise its true intentions. Had the bucket known this all along? Stanley marveled at the metal genius in his hands, the one who had pointed him towards this incredible discovery. Stanley and the bucket never found freedom because they spent the rest of their lives here in this place, flipping through live streams of the silliest birds imaginable. Of all the possible paths his life could have taken, this one was surely the best. And Stanley was happy.
I don't know what I expected, but it definitely wasn't that. Oh my god. Okay, now I'm done for real. Well, thank you for joining me for the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, or Stanley Parable 2, however you want to look at it. I really liked it. I am a little annoyed, but in like the best way possible. Oh my god. I love how funny it is. Like the first one, I feel like there's a lot more mind goop, but they couldn't do that. in this one. They couldn't really mess with you as much as they could in the first one, right? Because it's kind of a one and done sort of thing. But this one was so funny and so clever. Like, I love how clever they are. I don't know how they do it. I don't know how they make games like this. I don't know how people write stories like that. It's incredible. I only have 3 achievements from this. I beat the game, get your first achievement, and you can't jump. What an incredible game. It's on Steam. You should play it. I'm sure it's on other stores. I played it on Steam. I think if there's anything that we learned from today, get you a bucket. All right. Like the video, subscribe. Let me know what you think about this game in the comments. Let me know if you're going to play it. If you have played it, what you think about it. If you've played the original Stanley Parable, and if you ever played Beginner's Guide. So the first company, Galactic Cafe, did Stanley Parable and the Beginner's Guide, which if you've played those, let me know. I would love to hear your thoughts on it and how you found it. I played it so long ago. You can find it on my stream on Twitch. I'll include the link below if you want to see that from 2018 and 19. All right, y'all. I hope you have a great week, a wonderful whatever time of the year it is for you. And thanks again for watching. I really appreciate you spending time with me. I will see you later. Bye.